Eric here from Fix Your Car. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the best cars that you can buy for the money, and what years to look for and what to look out for. So stay tuned. So the vehicle we're talking about here is none other than the 2005 Buick LeSabre. Now, it's not so much the LeSabre that is actually what makes this car great. It's what's inside the hood. And we're going to take a peek at that right now and show you why this is one of the last great motors that GM made and probably ever will make. You can get these cars for anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000, and they will last 500,000 miles if you take care of them. Even if you don't take care of them, they'll probably last a really long time. So this vehicle here is actually my mother's vehicle. She's had this vehicle since I was in high school, and it is still working good. No problems at all. Not a bad looking car. It's got some dents and dings on it, of course. I don't know if you can see it in this photo, but there's a little hail damage on top. But the car overall is great. You can fit 6 people in this vehicle. No problem. We took this on a road trip my junior, senior year at high school, all the way to California and back. It gets 30 miles a gallon. Now, I'm going to pop the hood and show you guys why this vehicle is amazing. It's because of that thing right there. The GM 3.8 liter or 3800. Now, this motor was made for a very long time. It was a sad, sad day when GM had to stop making it. This motor was probably made from the late 60s, early 70s, all the way till 2008. And ironically, the funny thing is not long after that, GM filed for bankruptcy during the great financial crisis. Makes you wonder, was it really the financial crisis or the garbage that GM started putting in motors? So you've seen that video that I did over the 3.6 liter variable valve time. This is the motor that was before it, and it's really just a beautiful, easy to work on motor. Some of the things I want to show you is, look at all the room you have on here. I can fit my hand in here. That 3.6 liter, I have to take off all kinds of this stuff just to get to the water pump and all this stuff. If you look at this, I have the ignition coils right here. I can take these things off. I have the serpentine belt right there, the alternators right there. Water pump is right down there. Everything is very, very accessible. It is such a mechanic's dream to work on these things, and they love them. This is why I love it. I'm a DIY mechanic, and I love this vehicle. I told my mom to never get rid of this thing. Right now it has 185,000 on it, and it runs like a dream. She's had it since 2006, I believe, and it just keeps running. It has no problems. I just did a brake job on it. The dealership wanted $900 to do the brakes. So I got on Rock Auto and got all the parts by like 150, 160 bucks. And look at that. Look how easy. You just have room everywhere to work on everything. Now I'm going to go over a few things just to show you on this motor that can go bad and things you need to look out for, but it's really not that bad. And the best thing about these motors, they put them in all kinds of things, so you can find them at junkyards pretty easily. Really not a problem at all to get parts for these things, and all of it's cheap. Even if you buy in brand new stuff, you know, you could get these ignition coil packs, 25 bucks a piece. You know, most of this stuff is like under $100 parts wise. We'll get back to the video in just a minute. Real quick, like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. Let's get the word out about car maintenance and misinformation. With that in mind, I created a free guide. If you head over to my website, www.fixyourcar.net, click on that orange button, you'll get a free guide that'll show you when you need to do maintenance on your vehicle, and so you won't be led astray and misinformed by the auto manufacturers. All right, now back to the episode. I'm going to show you something right here real quick. These little plastic doodads down in here, they tend to crack and break over time and leak. And this one actually looks like it might be seeping a little bit. There looks like a little wet spot around here. But you can change these out very easily and replace them with metal ones. And that might be the only bad thing about this motor, is some of the things are plastic that probably should have been metal. I'll show you another example of that. The other example of that is the intake. These are also made out of plastic and sometimes can crack and cause massive leaks and all kinds of issues. But it's just an intake manifold. And look at it. It's all right there. It's super easy to get to. You're not going to be fighting this thing to get out. It is just a beautiful, beautiful thing to really work on. It doesn't burn any oil. I can see there's a little seepage around this area. Maybe valve cover gaskets, something of that nature, but nothing serious. Yeah, this is just a great car, and it's so cheap. That's the thing, is like the parts on this thing are just super cheap. This motor is long gone, and we're probably never going to see one like it. This was probably the last motor that GM made that was what they called an overhead valve engine, where the camshaft is actually down inside the motor. It's not an overhead cam like our 3.6 liter. And the big difference in those is that the oil lubrication is not as big of an issue. So if the camshaft is down in the motor, lubrication becomes much more simpler than if the camshaft is on top of the engine in the valve cover area. Lubrication then becomes a problem because it's further away. And then on that 3.6 liter, we also had variable valve timing. That chain will literally nuke itself from sludge buildup because the lack of oil pressure will ruin everything. That's just how it goes. And with these things, you could actually, actually not take care of them that well, and they would still run well, And that was the unfortunate thing, is they're just not made like this anymore. Other things, you won't see direct injection on this. This is a port injected motor. The problem with direct injection is carbon buildup on the valves. And that can become an issue if it's not addressed soon enough. Other things like turbocharger. You do not see a turbocharger on here anywhere. Now, the 3.6 liter does not have a turbocharger, but many of the newer GM engines are starting to have turbochargers. And this is where GM's reliability really went down. I mean, the mid-2000s is when these vehicles were at their pinnacle, and I'm not sure we'll ever get back there again. I don't think they're ever going to make gasoline engines like this anymore that were this reliable. Why would they? They probably lose their shorts in stock price, if these vehicles just last forever. You don't have many problems and they're cheap to fix. I mean, how is that good for them? It's only good for you and I. This is why I'm making this video. I'm trying to show you guys how great of a car you can really get for your money. And it will last, and it's durable. The parts are cheap. It's easy to work on if you're a DIYer. This is the car you want. But these days are over, and I hope we can get back here one day. But anymore, it's looking like GM and all the auto manufacturers are going in a different direction. The reason why they stopped making these is because they're not as emission friendly as that 3.6 liter. But then I beg the question, they're not as durable. So those are going to the junkyard a lot sooner than these things are. These things are still on the road getting twice the mileage that those 3.6 liters are. And 3.6 liters are a good engine, but if you follow the manufacturer's recommendations, which sounds crazy, the engine will nuke itself. Like this motor, they recommended 3 to 5,000 mile oil changes on this. And that 3.6, they said you could go up to 7,500 miles without an oil change. And how? There's so much more complexity with that thing, and the variable valve time system is literally run off of oil pressure. Makes you wonder, like, are they really have your best interest in it for you? So, great car to get. This is the pinnacle of technology, durability, and longevity. Uh, and I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments, and GM, their glory days are over. You know, this was the GM that my father, he loved, and it's easy to understand because they took such pride in what they made, and they made things simple and easy to work on. Uh, those days are just gone, unfortunately, and now Fix Your Car exists to help you out and educate you and on your autos, and to bless and, you know, foster the newer cars that are coming around. So hope you like this video. May God bless and protect you. And until next time, make it a great day.